Hi everyone, Lisa Haven here. Well, scientists are in an all-out panic over a possible pole flip. Many are saying that we're already in the beginning thrust of that, while other scientists, because you know they always disagree, are saying that, well, we shouldn't really panic over this. Well, what is a pole shift for starters? For those of you who may not know what that is, in a nutshell and very simply put, there's a lot more detail that I'll leave you below, but it's basically when the North Pole becomes the South Pole becomes the North Pole, kind of that shift there. Again, that's just a very basic answer. It's not getting into the nitty-gritty of it. But with that, we have scientists who are saying that we need to prepare for some kind of level of catastrophe, and while others who are saying not to worry about it. Well, in addition to that, I also have a FEMA report that I want to show you, warning of solar flares and CMEs, which are directly involved with some of the stuff that these scientists are saying. Now, before I confuse you, let me start with this. As far as a pole shift is concerned, the question that I have to address first is, has this ever happened before? The answer, yes, it's happened hundreds of times, according to scientists. And the last time it happened was some 780,000 years ago, at least according to these scientists. And they also state that it happens every 200 to 300,000 years. Ergo, we are very, very, very long overdue for a pole shift. Now, with that, let me take you to the first report. This one's on zerohedge.com. And it's titled, "The Earth's Magnetic Field is Shifting. Poles May Flip. This Could Get Bad." Now, the report goes on to detail that scientists from the University of Colorado in Boulder are sounding the alarm on the Earth's magnetic field, on magnetic poles, and how they are showing signs of reversing. Although the pole reversal in and of itself is not unprecedented, the solar winds that could take out the power grid and make parts of the globe uninhabitable could cause widespread disaster. It goes on, the Earth has had a fierce molten core that generates a magnetic field capable of defending our planet against devastating solar winds. This magnetic field is vital to life on Earth and has weakened by 15% over the last 200 years. I want you to keep that fact alone in mind, because this is something both sides agree on. But the fact that we have weakened by 15% over the last 200 years, so they are seeing a problem with Earth's magnetic field going on. This protective field acts as a shield against harmful solar radiation and extends thousands of miles into space, and its magnetism affects everything from global communication to power grids. In a nutshell, they are basically saying here, or the scientists from Boulder are saying here, that we need to take precautions and worry because of the Earth's magnetic field has weakened and we're at 15% lower, that if this were to happen, some of the solar winds could knock out our power grids, leaving us without some lights, leaving us without a lot more than just lights. Now, what would exactly happen? Well, that is found on a report put out on undark.org. This also references the same University of Colorado in Boulder, where the scientists are sounding the alarms. But what happens if a pole shifts? Well, this report is titled, "The Magnetic Field is Shifting. The Poles May Flip. This Could Get Bad." Now, it goes to detail the following. The shield that protects the Earth from solar radiation is under attack from within. We cannot prevent it, but we can prepare. The Earth's magnetic field protects our planet, again, from the dangerous solar and cosmetic rays like a shield. As the poles swap places or try to switch places, the shield weakens. Scientists estimate that it could waste away as little as a tenth of its usual force. The shield could be compromised for centuries while the poles move, allowing malevolent radiation closer to the Earth surface of the planet of the Earth the whole time. Already, changes within the Earth have weakened the field over the South Atlantic, so much so that satellites exposed to the resulting radiation have experienced memory failure. It goes on, the radiation is not hitting the surface yet, but at some point when the magnetic field has dwindled enough, it could be a different story. Now, this is according to Daniel Baker, the director of the laboratory at the Atmospheric and Space Physics at the University of Colorado Boulder, the one that was referenced before, one of the world's expert on how cosmic radiation affects the Earth, fears that part of the planet will become uninhabitable during that reversal. The dangers, devastating streams of particles from the sun, galactic cosmic rays, and enhanced ultra B rays from the radiation damaged ozone layer, to name just a few of the invisible forces that could harm or kill some of the living creatures. Now it goes on to ask the question, how bad can it get? Well, in reality, they actually state on there, well, this is not some catastrophic event that's going to kill and wipe out planet Earth. That is not what he's saying in this report. However, he does go on to say, and I'm just going to quote it here, but the vast cyber electronic cocoon that has become basically our lifeline here across the globe would be in danger. Basically, some of our power, some of our sources of power, those kinds of things. And we could be looking at damaging satellites, power grids down as well, causing a domino effect of blackouts throughout the country. These are the kinds of things that they're warning as far as that could have major consequences if we don't prepare now. In opposition to that report, but they actually kind of go along, Live Science put out a report asking the very question, is the scientist in Boulder, does he really have any ground to stand on with this pole reversal? Well, here's that report, and this one's headlined, why you probably, in parentheses, please pay attention to that, should not worry about the Earth's magnetic poles flipping. Now that report goes on to state that basically, and I'm going to kind of summarize it, but they say the pole flippage is a very gradual process. It doesn't happen, split second. It happens over 1,000 to 10,000 years in length. So it takes a lot of time for this to flip. So therefore, Live Science is saying we shouldn't panic that much. However, they go on to say the probability that we probably shouldn't worry. Here's why they say probably. And I'm going to take you straight to the source here, but it says, what currently has geophysicists like us a buzz is the realization that the strength of Earth's magnetic field has been decreasing for the last 160 years at an alarming rate. Both agree, obviously, that that is happening, and both are saying that that is a problem. It goes on, the extreme weakening of that field, the shield that protects us from the particles blasting into us. Live Science previously reported that these charged solar particles could punch holes in our atmosphere akin to the ozone hole above the Antarctica. Where these holes would have any true impact is debatable. It goes on, the increased radiation, however, could mess with the navigation of satellites and aircraft as well as the power grid. Were this to happen today, the increase in charged particles reaching the Earth would result in increased risk for satellites, aviation, and ground-based electrical infrastructure. So don't worry. One thinks that we should worry about it, while the other says we probably shouldn't worry, but the possibility is out there. It's interesting how you've got two different views there on that. Now, what I want to say is I don't know which way cookies crumble, and nobody knows if that were to happen. Considering it is a gradual process, my assessment would be you would have outages gradually, maybe not all at once in certain areas. So is it something to massively panic over? I don't think so. However, it is something to prepare for. And here's why I say that, because nobody really knows. I mean, this stuff could absolutely hit, but I always err on the side of, well, we've been around a while. It could be generations upon generations away. We just don't know. But that's why I'm a big preparer, and I support things like My Patriot Supply. If you don't have food storage, check out My Patriot Supply. Lisa Haven there. There's the link below, and make sure you've got food storage and water and all that stuff. This is just one reason I do. But I don't know which way the cookie will ever crumble because I'm not a scientist, but I do read multiple reports and form an assessment. So considering it is gradual, I think we could see outages and satellites and all of that again. But again, I don't know the level that it will cause havoc on Earth. Only time will tell. And if it will, to clarify, I do not know that either. But here's what I do know. There was a report that FEMA put out. I think it was put together in 2010, but not officially released until 2017 last year. And that's when I got my hands on it. Now, it's this report that details major things such as how FEMA needs to be ready for a CME, for a solar flare. Things that these scientists are warning about could happen in the event of a pole reversal, which would be akin to or likened to radiation hitting the Earth, kind of similar to a CME, but more radiation on the Earth altogether is what this particular report is referencing. Now, in that report, and I'm going to throw it up on the screen so you can see it for yourself. This report, again, it highlights the damages of major solar storms that they could wreak on this planet. They also reference not only in this report significant power grid collapse, but it references the 1859 Carrington-Hodgson event, which was a solar storm, which had that kind of level of a solar storm happen in today's world with our technology. It would have knocked out massive amounts of our power grid. And that's what they're saying. If another 1859 Carrington-Hodgson event were to happen today, we would be in some serious trouble with some severe power outages that FEMA would not be able to fix for about 4 to 10 years. And you can see that highlighted in the report. They specifically say that's how long it could take. On page 13 of the report, it details, and you could see a CME hitting Earth, and you could see there it would take 4 to 10 years to fix this problem. Interesting. Now, that's a 70-page report. I went through all 70 pages on a prior report, so I don't want to hit that again, but I do want to just scratch the surface. And again, they're saying if some kind of solar event were to happen in America or on the global scale, but because FEMA works with America, then we're looking at 4 to 10 years to fix it. So always something to think about and be prepared for. And FEMA even said that they wouldn't be able to fix it too much. And that document, it only plans out 1 year. They have 1 year of planning in which they can help the American public, and I would not rely on that. And then beyond that year, you're missing 3 years before that power grid is completely fixed. So don't rely on the government in the event of a disaster, because they ain't gonna be your baby. Just saying. Anyhow, wanted to bring you the latest on all of that. Hope I didn't take you too long. I tried to fit it all into one. Don't forget to check out some of my partners here. The food there at My Patriot Supply. They have some amazing food products, so make sure you go there and check them out. Also, virtualshield.com/Lisa Haven. Make sure you have an IP scrambler as well. Anyhow, thanks again for tuning in. I'm Lisa Haven, signing out.